I think it's pretty quiet right now. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. Yeah. Hello, bit much. That's fine. The reason for this is more of a tutorial for my friend. He's getting into Logic Pro, so I'm gonna show him a few things. I'm using this as a recording, but it'll also be fun to see if people join. Why not? Now, pulling up Twitch on my phone. And of course, it has to re-download. But in the meantime, we're gonna hop to it with a song I haven't released yet that I still need to mix and master. Yee. Let's just look at this. I called you and I wasn't right, like I didn't see it. So now what's left? Oh, I was reeling, it hit like a train. Sweet. You left me nothing, just guilt and shame. I hope you find him. Okay. I hope he gives what. So I believe you can hear it, you can see it. I'm gonna run through everything I do. So, spacebar. I wish I had a camera that would like show you what I'm doing. Well, let's see. What does this do? That's just my crotch. That's not gonna work. That's my crotch. Anyways, finna game. Maybe. I'm making a video for my friend Lucas. His spacebar. That's your pause and start button. This is important. It's a tutorial. Let me actually break down what you're seeing right now. I think you might know enough about DAWs, but I set this thing up top to be my own thing. So I know the time run, beats and the counting. We have the tempo. Heavens no, I changed the tempo to a song I didn't want to change. 109. 78 last I checked, right? We're about to find out. Alright, so it's running through some processes that I will tell you how to get to eventually. Freezing is very important, especially if you want to successfully keep your computer running fast and efficiently. It also helps with recording. It saves a lot of CPU. Like if you look up here, let me run you through this while it freezes and does its thing. So we got the time stamps up here. We got the beats and the measures. We have tempo and some other fancy stuffs that I don't really use that much, but it's mainly for audio files and whether or not you are adjusting it per the file you're dropping in or if it's for universally like the entire project. Computer running, you better go catch it. But then I also have the time signature and I think another one. And then we have the CPU usage and the hard drive usage. Obviously it's spiking right now because what it's doing is freezing tracks. So if you look all the way over here, you have all your tracks and you have the power button. On and off. On, it has power, it plays. Off, it has no power. Then muting. It's muted, you can't hear it enough. Soloed, where that's the only thing you hear. Enough. This symbol, you'd have to go to a menu to bring that up so that it shows up on each of your tracks. But to freeze it, all that does is it'll take a second, like what it's doing right now. It's freezing an entire song. For every highlighted track that has this symbol highlighted, it's going to freeze it and essentially turn it into an audio file. So instead of reading it every time it plays through, it just has an audio file that can play like anything else. It makes it a lot easier. It makes the CPU usage go down by a lot, which helps with recording and it reduces delay. Very good. Not the effect delay. I can teach you how to do buses later because that's also pretty important. As you notice, everything is purple. That's because I did that and it was fun, and that is that's a little cosmetic thing that I could probably show you how to do if I pull up the command list that I made showing you the quick shortcuts. It'll probably be there. Let me see. Added. No, I didn't. I'm pretty sure it's just Option C, which I believe on anything else would be Alt C, and Control would be Command. Oh, because Command is Command. It doesn't make much sense. Control is actually its own thing. Control is universal. Option is Alt. That is the same button. I'm pretty sure those two translate. So anytime I have on this cheat sheet that let me pull that up real quick. Oh, well, I can't because maxed out. But I'll show you once it's done freezing. Also, if you want it to stop freezing, that is the symbol for command. And we have hyphen and then period. Very, very good at this. This is going to be a great stream. Let's see. But I'm going to just work on this and kind of show you what it's like. Or, heck, I might just start messing around and making my own thing, because I think that would help. But I figured I could show you what things would look like with a lot of stuff. You can break down from the big projects, get into the nitty-gritty of it. It's almost done. There we go. Now, let's see if it bounced correctly. Because sometimes it bouncing a lot, you and the hard drive usage has both gone down, and yep. Now these are actually frozen as well. If I expand them, okay, so what I just did there, I hit A. Just A on the keyboard, that's it. That opens up automation. Brings you to this screen and it looks like, oh, that's a lot. Yeah, automation is very easy. It is very quintessential as well. So all you would do, let's look at this real quick. I will solo this. So something with frozen tracks, you cannot really add much to them. They're pretty much set in stone. They will stay as they were when you froze them. You can change volume and stuff and panning with automation, but that's about it. Because it's just taking an audio file and making it louder or quieter and throwing it left or right. That's all it's doing. So something important to, like, you just click and you get a dot. Amazing. Command Z. Boom. Boom. I'm undoing everything. Easy enough. A lot of times I have sections that you can see. Ooh, another important. So you see these little marks? This yellow thing is? It's your playhead. You can drag it all over there. Click, goes there. Right above it, that is something else entirely. It doesn't work. Those are going to be your measures. And if you just long click and hold, you can highlight measures. And now that is a loop. Hold near the end. You can expand it. Cut it. What the heck? No. Then I don't want that. Command C doesn't do that. Wasn't with the track. Now, anytime I play, so I will click here, I press the space bar, it goes back to the beginning of that loop. Now let's say I want it to die down, then come back up. A good thing to remember is an anchor point. See right here how the kind of split up? I'll put a dot there. Now if I zoom in, oh, this is important. This little thing right here, it's playhead. It means that when you play, you will follow it. It will keep following that playhead. Zooming in, it's kind of janky, but figured figured that could be important. Now, this, whenever you zoom in, it zooms in on your pointer. That is important to know. And see that? See how that dot isn't exactly on the line? The playhead clicks to the line. So there is the semicolon button. You hit that, it brings it right to the playhead. Since the playhead snaps right to measures, it saves a lot of time and it makes it very snappy, very nice, saves you a lot of pain. But now that is an anchor point. So over here, nothing will get, like these measures, their volume won't get messed with. This one, down, side to side, do whatever, we can just mess with it. Now this is important as well. I believe if you click T, it brings this up, what your pointer tool can do. Honestly, I just leave it as pointer tool. However, the secondary tool, that's what I change all the time. I don't know if there's just a quick button for it, but I click here and automation curve tool. A lot of times, automation, this is like a normal thing that your pointer does, so I don't think that's very useful. However, automation curve tool. Also, a lot of these will just be shortcuts. You don't need something else. Curve tool, however, click on that, and then you're gonna want command. You see how it shows up? When I press the command button, my mouse is now in the secondary function, and it's going to do something else. It bends it. So up and down, create these little slopes, exponential, and they will sound different. Left and right, you can do something like that, or like this. Left will bring the dip in and out on the entrance and exit. Going to the right is a sharp cut in the middle. Oh, I love this one because it does help a lot. It feels like, it doesn't just cut as hard. However, I don't want to do any of that. Now, that means that track is highlighted. See how it's light gray while everything else is darker? Now this track is highlighted. I click on it. I pause. Now if I press S, unsoloed, muted, not muted, soloed, and muted. It don't do much like that. Now this is only for audio tracks, but it's a live input monitoring, I guess. So you can hear it as you play it. However, since it's frozen, that will not apply. Since it is only playing this and nothing else. A to go back. Now I'm going to press C. Watch this yellow golden bar disappears. C is for the loop. That was on the cheat sheet that I sent you, Lucas. Yeah, I don't know why it's C, but C, I'll hit C again, and it disappears. So without it, now I hit C and then space bar. Boom, we're back. Sweet. And I'm gonna shorten it so it doesn't spoil all the audios. Now, zooming out. Another way to zoom out, you have two axes. Vertical zoom, really condense everything. Here. Then you got horizontal zoom, so you can really get into the nitty-gritty. I can teach you how to do it with your hands on a mouse pad, but you can just do it up here too, it's fine. This guy, next to overlap and everything up here, that is an audio enhancer. It doesn't do much, it just shows you more of the audio file, so you don't have to zoom in as much. But let's go in here. Now what I'm doing, we're getting pretty far ahead. I realize I'm throwing a lot at once, but it's fine. Take it off. It's a lot harder to see the peaks and the troughs, highs and lows. Now, I can get into the nitty gritty and be like, ooh, this section like right here. See this little peak? I want to cut that. We can go into that. Boom, bang, boom. Now, let's see what the comp is at. Genuinely. Comp isn't doing it. That's fine. Now it is decently color coordinated. These are going to be background instruments with leads. They have a bit of a melody. That's their color. These are pads. Now, when you play MIDI, or you want to play a MIDI track, something important to know. This, for example. It plays at the beginning of each note. Now if I click on it and I press P for piano, it opens up a piano scroll. This is where you can do editing and things like that. Now we can't do much editing because it's frozen right now. It is as it is. The different colors here really mean stuff. The colors up above were just aesthetic and organization. This, on the other hand, is velocity. This is like how hard you're hitting the keys. And the closer to red it gets, like red is hot, blue is cold. So red is intense, blue is soft. Like listen to how it changes. Getting a little bit more intense, a brighter green. Almost to an orange yellow. I think you can even see this here. So I don't have to highlight this track necessarily. I'll go here. And now if I just click on the MIDI that I want, the actual MIDI file, it'll show up if I have the piano open. The piano open. Okay, so you can tell it's just a little bit. It's 80. Oh, they won't tell me because it's free. But you can kind of hear the difference. So velocity on MIDI can really bring some life to it. That's great, that's fun. I press P to leave. Awesome. However, something important. See this blue line? It highlights which window you are looking at. So one of the commands I said was Command A. That highlights every MIDI chord in the selected window. So right now it's the piano scroll. When I hit Command A, it would be all of these. Now we had a trick earlier. Play scroll. So header rules applies the same. Little white, purple, lavender, whatever it's called. Where the playhead is, and above that is the measures. So if we were to play, because we're looped right now. However, let's say we want to just mess around. We can't actually, because it's frozen. Darn it. To unfreeze it, I would hit the snowflake up here. That also brings me the record option. They're now useful now that it's unfrozen. However, let's just mess around a little bit. We have selected all of these. As I zoom out, I can see the whole song in this track. Only place it's used. However, we have playhead at the second measure, and using the semicolon hack, everything, as you can tell, all of the notes are highlighted and selected. Playhead at measure 2, we hit the semicolon, everything is moved. So now when we play it, using the loop, it should be inspected at the beginning. Now it will sound weird, but ooh, I kind of like that though. I hate that though. Okay, now to undo all of that, Command Z, we're back. Play. Awesome, we're back. Now I click anywhere else and it's unselected. I can hold, create a box and highlight. Boom, I could click there, boom, Command Z, back. Now I'm gonna press P. Well, actually, as you can see, this is highlighted. Now I click here. Now this box is highlighted. So if I hit Command A, it would highlight all of the tracks in this window, which can be dangerous. You can move a lot at once. But it's very nice for removing some sections and then bringing something back where you wanted it. But with the piano open, you can see everything literally playing at once, and it's hectic and crazy. You can see this little piano scroll on the side. You can kind of piece together, oh, what key are we in? What range are we in? Nice, nice. Velocity, right here. This determines the color of each MIDI note. That is the intensity. Hot or cold, red or blue. Quantizing. This will be fun. Let's go. Let me. So this is unfrozen, so this is just going to be what I'm. So, something to know. As you can see in this window up here, there's more to this. That, when it's selected, is when you can mess around with it. Otherwise, there's nothing there. If you click the track again, should select everything. Maybe it's because it's. There it is, yes. Okay. Troubleshooting on the fly. So, see this? It's still active. When I click on it, track, it only highlights what is in that looped area. Learn something new. You see what I'm doing? Yeah, it's a little faded out. It's a replica, it's a copy, it's a loop. For that, you press L. Unloop. Loop again. It's looping the highlighted track. Now let's press C. Click back, and now it highlights everything in that track. Now in the piano, I can see it all. Press C, it's going to keep it still. Now, let's say you play some MIDI. I'm going to play some MIDI, so let's get out of that. Let's make it a little bigger so you can see. Now to record has to be enabled. Gotta be ready to go. Now, here's where we get into some other things. These things are fun and fine, and this you can hover over it and it'll kind of tell you library. Why? I have already put that on the cheat sheet, but why is very fun, especially for MIDI. It will give you a bunch of stuff. Now, I don't really want to make it right now, but this is your library of MIDI. You can look at all these things, and it's great, and it's fun. Why, again, it's gone. This one, which is going to be I. Inspector, yes, I is my favorite. This is where I go. This is the nitty gritty. This is where a lot of mixing and mastering, buses, plugins, this is where a lot of the good stuff comes. As you can see, it's already set up. Already some things here. Groups we can get into later. Tracks, get into later. Now, it'll kind of look more like this at first. EQ. You click on it, you can get an EQ. That's its own thing. These are all plugins. This is a bus. Now, a bus is just where you can house. Well, let's think of an analogy. Let's say on a bus, physical bus, there is reverb, delay, and compressor. All three of those, I guess. Instead of using a lot of CPU usage up here, instead, you can make the bus drive over to your track. Boom. And it has all three things that you need. And you can determine how much it has in this little right here. So right now, it's just a simple reverb that I use for pretty much everything in the song. But I can alter how much reverb it actually gets. This thing right. Buses are very nice, very solid. You can do a lot with vocal chain. So let's say you want pitch correction, you want a limiter, you want reverb, you want delay. You can add all of those things in a bus. Now, the order they come in actually does matter. It takes priority. It's not all that important, but I guess it matters. So it will bring all of those things into account, and you can adjust it as one big plugin. Just increase or decrease based on this little guy right here. Like, oh, this actually didn't sound good. I liked it how it was before. And Z, back to normal. Now, as for playing, I have a MIDI keyboard. It's very tiny. It just got unplugged. I need to upgrade. But honestly, this is great. Something that is important to remember is that it's not about how big it is, what you do with it. I think having a bigger one does really help when it comes to playing a song or figuring out a song, because you can feel it, you have more to work with. That's great. But for the tiny things and a lot of the details, tiny little solo, you can do that right here. Size does matter sometimes. You can feel it more with the bigger size. You can quote me on it. Now that did just unplug, so I'm going to replug that in using this tiny little cord. He said no. No means no, I guess. Ooh, lights. Now, MIDI's its own thing that I can teach you how to use a keyboard or whatever, or maybe Micah can do that, my friend, because this is for my friend Lucas. Now, that thing is huge. Dude, it kind of is. It kind of is. But, something important. See? Because it's the highlighted track it's going to play, but because another track is record enabled, or it's ready to record, it'll combine the two, which can be fun for multi-track recording, and therefore when you hit R for record, it will record both at once. However, that's annoying and I don't want to do that, so we're just going to do this. What is it? How fun is this to hear? I can play piano. What was it? There was a chord I was messing with her. Like that one. Dissonance is crazy. Doesn't matter. Let's get back to whatever. I can record and figure out I'm gonna hit I to go back. That's there. Now, something important. Play button. It's only play, it's not pause. This is pause. Go back to the beginning of the loop. This is by measure. So rewind one measure, forward one measure, back to the beginning of the loop. This will do the same as C, cycle. That's good to know what that means. See how it turns on and off. This is your record. Guess what? R. Boom. Now, this, I'll get into. Actually, no, because this is the piano. I've already done this. E. So for MIDI, you hit P for piano. It helps. But for audio, it's going to be E. And that's where you can get into the nitty-gritty of that. This is a mixer B. That's stupid. It's like the most basic sort of stuff you can do. Now, pitch correction, OTT, all of this stuff. This is what I have in this right now. That can be affected by these. So that's fun. Q, split up. That's the same thing right there. So instead of having to go I and click on things, you can go B. Make some quick adjustments as it plays. I called you. However, I don't. Now I'm gonna play some terrible piano. Ooh, so this, your metronome stuff. This is the overall level of your entire mix. If it goes into the red, something's not good. Should start off at 00 dB. Now, this is the count in. There's a shortcut for that. If you hover over anything, it'll do that. This is the metronome. You hit K, and now it's there. Hit K again, it's gone. But no, we're gonna keep it on. We're gonna hit R, record enabled. So when we hit R, we will be recording that there. And it's gonna give me a count in. and it's gonna keep up the metronome throughout. If this is on, it's just the count in. Metronome cuts out during your recording. Let's keep them both in. Let's go. I called you, and I wasn't right. I didn't see. So now what's that? Oh, I was really hit like a train. You left me nothing, just guilty. How fun is that? How fun is that? Okay, now let the color same. So I'm gonna click on this Option C. I'm gonna bring up the color palette, and that's all it does. So I'm just gonna make them match. That's all. I double clicked on that, and it should open up the piano scroll. Otherwise, it's like click piano. You can also just double click. It's fine. Now let me out. A lot of stuff. As you can tell, I played at different velocities. I'm gonna solo. And terrible. Let's listen to the tempo. It's not on time at all. I like that a little bit. It's not in time. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. All out of time. Now, quantize. So this is the velocity. I'm like, oh, that's really intense. Bring it down a bit. Now it's less, but you know, maybe I do like it loud. Okay, now I'm gonna select all. Oh, I hate that. First, I'm gonna get to that later. For now, selecting all, and I want them to line up. I'm gonna bring them first up here. X is one unit, so it doesn't line up every single note at the same place. Works as a unit, so just one big. Instead of. That makes any sense. Also, fun fact, it can kind of tell you. Look up by Steinway Grand Piano, right here by that green icon. I'm gonna highlight some. Note selected D. Same D. Pretty sure it can break down the chord. B major 7. B minor 7th. It's very fun how it can kind of break that down for you. That's very fun. But now, things still not lining up. Louder. You need to be louder. Now was velocity. This is going to be quantized. Normally I don't mess with swing or strength. I like things on the beat, but you can mess with that, see how it feels. That's up to you. However, I'm going to select them all. And now, this is pretty long and slow. This is the overall chord, which is hilarious. So, when I press Q, they're all going to snap to the nearest note. And right now, selected is 16th note. Put it at 8th note. Boom. Q. They're now there. And they should all line up now in the tempo. In some way, it lines up with an 8th note. Right? It's like on beat now. Now this is trash, so I'm going to delete it. But first, look at this. Something important. Imagine a line. Let's press P to get out of here so we can zoom in. Imagine an imaginary line cutting this in half long ways like this. This is important. If I want to elongate the measure, the bottom half. If I want to loop it, top half. However, I can't loop it because there's a measure in the way. And now, I don't like how long that is. I use this all the time. I want it to end at this measure when this one comes in. Right now, they're just overlapping and the rest of that measure is hidden. I'm going to go click the header here. It's going to be Command T for trim. Boom, cuts it in half. Now I can just hit delete and it's gone. Nothing overlapping, it's good. I'm gonna highlight this and delete that as well, frick that. Solo, C, K, take out the metronome.
I hope he gives what you need. I hope he's perfect in everything that I couldn't be.
Okay, the real note.
Hope you're happy.
Z for zoom.
That I could
So
just
then I can.
breathe. I hope he's perfect.
There's something wrong. Something wrong in here. I'm gonna highlight this section because that's where the problem's at. And on these perks like I'm a laundromat. These are too loud. These sections are too loud. So we're gonna solo. Yeah, way too loud. We're gonna hit automation. See how high, how loud it is. Crazy loud. As you can see, it's like. Now there's already an anchor point here. So if I were to just lower this entire thing, it doesn't affect any of the other measures. And right now I'm just trying to affect these. 6, so I can move down. Sweet. And then it tells me here, they're about the same, and that sounds way less. Way more in the background, but still very present. Now, this song is formulated rather simply. So, something that I'm going to show you now is you can almost tell where the chorus and the verses are. The chorus has a bit more, while everything else cuts out in the verse. However, let's say you want to label them. That'd be great. G, it is. You hit G for stuff. I don't know why it's called that. Arrangement markers, I guess. So you can leave a marker, you can leave arrangements. Tempo is actually pretty fun. That's how it would work the same as automation. You make a dot. Set this to ready. You can change the signature, which does do a little. So now the tempo is totally different. All right, I'm gonna cancel that. That's not worth it. Boom, boom, boom. But either way, how you change tempo, signature. You can highlight what the chords are. Markers. Let's put a marker right here. Double click on it. That's how you spell chorus. Chorus. Does this work? You can just drop it into using Command T. Fun fact, does the same thing. And verse 2. Verse 1. Double clicking on that space doesn't do anything. I just found that out. And T, double click. Chorus 2. And this will be bridge. And finally, chords 3. Then if you press G again, get out of it. Now where the header is, you can kind of direct it a bit more. Like, oh, I need to go to verse 1. Boom, I click right at verse 1. I need to go to bridge. Here we go. Chorus 3.
I hope you find it. I hope he gives you
Something is ocean. That's very interesting. Let me just solo these so I can listen to it to see if they play. Nope. As you can tell, this is volume right here. Panning, stereo. Nothing is coming out. So I'm going to go into A. Click this point, get rid of that. Should level it out. Now you'll notice I did it on one track and did it for both. Let's get into the nitty gritty. This track, groups. Hey, look. So you can make groups right here. Click, no group, group, make a new group. Now, groups are pretty simple. Any automation or that you do, it will be the same throughout the whole group. So these two things are sister tracks. Lonely Voyage, they're sister tracks. So they are in a group. Add one, right? But they both have the same group over here, down there. Now, you can turn that off so I can adjust things and it won't affect the other one. Like that. It makes things a lot easier when they're basically the same instrument. Now we've run into it. It's not playing, but if you look, volume is up. There should be some stuff here. Let's bring it in here. Okay, so it was frozen incorrectly. I will this, it again. Highlight them again. When I press play, it will start from the beginning and refreeze them to be more accurate. I think this was because I canceled it last time. That happens. Couldn't be. I hope you're happy. All right. Now that cheat sheet will teach you a lot, but I think you just kind of got to mess around, find out, and that will teach you the most. But I've taught you a lot of things I wish I had known. I do remember switching over from GarageBand to Logic. There definitely was a bit of a learning curve. It is easy at first, like, oh, double click to open the scroll. I can do that all day. Oh, it's actually P? Oh, I can do that. But learning what the actual buttons and getting them at the right time, because sometimes I'd be like, oh, I need to go into the library. I'd hit I, and I'm like, that was the wrong one. What did I press? Then I can't figure it out. I end up pressing A and Command D, and a bunch of crap happens. But for the most part, that will show you what you can use. And then from what you've told, you can learn and grow and apply that. Almost done. On me. So, something important. I pressed space, didn't do anything. Why? Because I had clicked on another application, OBS. So now, here, and it's back.
But I'm losing faith. Your eyes can't see me.
Okay, something's wrong with the bass too. We're really troubleshooting today. The only reason I know there's something wrong with the bass is because I hear this song all the time. So I kind of know what's. But now it's there.
Don't say my name.
Oh, it's this that is missing. I wonder, it seems like a lot of things got screwed up with that. Yeah, there's no hit. If I unfreeze it, it should bring it back. Please, not that. Then that should refreeze everything. And because it's not as intense, it should be a little quicker. Now, let's see what else. Something important. There are two modes. This is big. There are two modes essentially. Recording and listening. Very different things, and your CPU, depending on what kind of thing you have, kind of setup you got, I have a MacBook Pro. I don't know which kind. It was refurbished, and I bought it. My parents actually got it for college about 6 years ago, I want to say. Shout out my parents. Very blessed. However, old CPU's starting to wear out, and so something like freezing will take a lot longer. And I started running into problems about a year into making projects and stuff. For one, I was able to just do more. So I put more into my songs. My computer couldn't handle it. Overproduction is a killer. But I couldn't record. There would always be some sort of delay. So, this is very important. If you run into a delay while recording, it sounds like you're on in it, but listening back to it, it sounds like there's just a little bit of a delay. It's probably the CPU, and you'll have to look at your outputs as well as what else? It's done, but I can just show you that now. If I were to record this. So we'll be here. I'm gonna highlight this, so every time I press R, I'm pooping my pants. It hurts my butthole. Sweet, it recorded. Look at that. So this is my little thing. I'm gonna solo play. I'm pooping my pants. It hurts my butthole. This is great. We are going to not be here because some of these things are useful. Settings. Go to settings. Yes, it's into it. Bring this up. All right. All of these things do things, but I haven't been in them in a while. Audio is important. Input, output, buffer size. That is important. This right here. That's important. All of this is pretty important. Output, input. I think you're smart enough to know what that is. Input is what you are doing and connecting to the computer so that audio or MIDI is into the computer. Output is audio or MIDI is played back out. For me, it's the same thing. I have an interface. It will probably be like that for you. Yeah, interface plugs into the computer, takes stuff in and out. Great. Now, buffer size. 1024 samples. That's a lot. That takes a lot of time. What you want to do is keep it small so that it can tiny little buffers, very quick and fast, instead of long buffer, long buffer, long buffer. Now, if you look, the highest you can have is 1024. So what you'll want to do is match that up to negative 4. Hello. Oh, negative samples. Now, the computer reads that accurately. I'm not exactly sure what it does, but I'm pretty sure it is the limit that your computer can do, that last sample. So I keep it there. Processing threads, automatic, usually for me. Process buffer size. I like to do it large since I keep them small anyways. It just keeps it very quick. Now, multi-threading, playback and live tracks. You can switch it to playback. Save you some time when you're listening. Now, let's see. Plug-in latency, that's a big one. Playback pre-roll, latency monitoring mode. Well, 30 milliseconds, no. 30 milliseconds will actually show if you're recording and all of a sudden, like, just off. Milliseconds, they're catching up to you. This is all dimming and stuff. We don't. But output, this is heavy duty stuff. This is really important for when you're recording like a live band or multiple MIDIs all at once. This is pretty important. Also important, but kind of over my head. It sorts itself out for the most part. Input, same. Editor doesn't matter. Now, automatic bus uses, that's a personal thing. I don't think you need to worry about that. Input monitoring. only for the focus track and only when input monitoring is enabled. Dependent monitor for record. Okay, so these are for when you click on a track, if you want to listen back to that track live. That can add some latency. The back pre-roll gets rid of that a little bit. Low latency monitoring mode is for listening. No, it's for listening while recording. I'm not in. So this is kind of what you want. IO buffer size, low as possible, tiny as possible. Small, large, either way. Playback and live tracks. Recording, just did a little cut. Now we go to recording for some more stuff. What did I do? Our computer's getting old. This is MIDI stuff. This is actually pretty fun. Cycle off, cycle on, merge. This is what I have set up. I find it the easy way to do things. If you want to copy and paste, please do. Remember, the cycle is this yellow bar up here. All right. Auto record enabled, the focus track or all selected tracks. This is a selected track. That is the record enabled. Now this one. Now this one. However, if I command and then hit it, they're both highlighted. Command click and left click. They're all highlighted. But because of this, it's only the focus track. Since this is highlighted, this is the focused track. Something I guess that could help. Sweet. Let's see. Playhead position. I think that is the biggest thing you'll need to for recording and listening is that input output buffer size. That helps a lot. And let me show you why. Click right to audio, settings, general audio. All the way down here. .8 milliseconds. Live track. Well, let's just make it play. Apply. It's going to initialize audio so everything is prepared for when you record. Okay, didn't add. Let's listen to this.
I couldn't see tears streaming down my face.
As you can tell, look at the CPU usage. That's a lot. That's a lot. Now, this. I'm gonna turn this on, and I'm just gonna count some beats. Oh, let's go back here. Record enable. R. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Poopy pants. I love leaving a little dookie, a little message. Okay. Gonna analyze all of that, put it into place. Now, let's just solo. 1, 2, 3. Not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I was pretty on. 4, 1, 2. But look at how much CPU usage that uses. Just for that little thing, it takes so much. Now, over time, that will compound and that will slow down. That is what will slow down recording. Back up to 32. And live tracks. Large. Process buffer size range should be large. If it's small, it ends up kind of tripping over itself and it's not able to buffer quite as quickly as you'd like. So just create large ones. 1, 2, 3. Not 4, as much. 1, 2. It used to be up here. 4, 1, 2, 3. Oh, spiked. 1, 2. But even now, it had to process all of the plugins at the very end. and it clipped. So the limiter went on a bit of a overtime there for a second. But now with all of those tracks going on, look at this. CPU's still got a lot to process. Now it doesn't help that I'm streaming. Well, that definitely means the CPU's doing overtime itself. Command S, save. I just get into the process of always doing it almost like an itch, just tick, I should say. Yes. Now, there's a lot more that you can figure out, but I think I've hit everything I want to. Now, we're just gonna see some stuff, and I'm just gonna work and kind of explain what I'm doing. Nothing green. Volume's moving, but there's nothing showing. That's an issue. So, froze. It had an issue while freezing, so it didn't actually catch the MIDI. Now, you can only play MIDI once it enters, when it starts. Huh. I don't think you are hearing this anymore. Okay, so same with these. I'll have to freeze these. For now, this is a great way to do it. So these are long notes, which will be great for an example. You cannot just play in the middle of a note unless it's an audio file. MIDI, on the other hand, you need to have it play at the start, otherwise it won't play. So right now, nothing. The next note will play. Because it's unfrozen, it's live. Right? Now what freezing does, it piles all of that, turns it into essentially an audio file. So I'm gonna do this. See, since this blue thing over here is on, our screen is tracking with the playhead. Friendly. This is also fun. This thing right here is live looping. This is tracks. I usually stay in tracks, but I believe it's Command L. Gives you the loops. Command N for the tracks, and then Command B for both. I believe that's what it is. And live looping is very just fun to mess with, especially with something like a drum pad, since the live loop is essentially this. It just looks like this. You can set it up and arrange it however you want. Assign files to whatever. Assign MIDI to whatever, so it can just play a whole MIDI track if you wanted to. It's very fun. Ed Sheeran, honestly, is kind of a goat at live looping. If you've seen any of his concerts or shows, just look him up live. He has a whole setup where he can just make songs live on the go. Very talented, very impressive. However, let's get back to it. See this in the middle? We started here, and when I first played it, there was nothing. But now, it's like an audio file. It's great. That's what freezing does. Also, another fun thing, H, for hidden or unhidden tracks. If it's a cool idea, but I don't want it, I'll usually just turn it off and press H. So now, this is soloed, so it should play, but without power, you'll get nothing. And then I hide it so that if I want to find it later, I can. But I do honestly want to keep that, so we're not going to do that. Back.
saving faith.
You are not hearing me yet. I hate how it's doing. So annoying. Just in case, we're gonna add. I am on the fly adding desktop audio capture. Not. Here we go.
But I hope you find him. I hope he gives what you need. I hope he's
Pause. That was crazy loud. Screen capture. I'm gonna copy some of these filters. Well, now we're just doing a lot with streaming as well, which is fun. I'm using my laptop right now so that I can actually show you Logic stuff. Sweet, but now that should help.
perfect in everything that I couldn't be. I hope you're happy. I wish that I could just breathe. I hope he's
Freezing makes everything. I'm gonna freeze a lot of stuff, and yes, it takes some time, but yes, it's so worth it. It's so worth it. With a lot of MIDI and other tracks, it just helps recording. It reduces that delay in recording. So, your input-output buffer range and freezing. Those are the two biggest things to help you record and reduce delay while recording. You can freeze audio tracks as well, and that does help. Does help. And remember, the only thing you can do while something is frozen is automation. So even if it's just for time, you can unfreeze it and then freeze it back again. You're good. This song is just about done. It's just a lot of mixing, mastering, adding some vocal tracks in the background. However, I don't think it's what. Also, something important, MIDI usually sorts itself out. If you plug it in for the first time, it usually will just automatically figure out what's going on. If not, look it up on YouTube. I had to fix it once or twice, especially for the drum pad, but I ended up figuring it out with the video, and I don't remember what it was. Don't remember what the issue was, but it's fine. Yeah. Because I'm streaming, it'll take a lot. Every time, it will just. I wonder if that will help. It's live now.
losing patience, but I'm saving faith. I'm moving forward, but I'm losing faith. Your eyes can't see me. Don't say my name. You call me into the light. There's only me to blame. Don't try to save me. I can't keep this pace.
I'm going to show you something with this audio file.
I'm not worth saving.
mixing needs to be done. But if we just listen to some of these.
I hope you find him. I hope he gives what you need. I hope he's perfect in everything that I couldn't be. I hope you're happy.
The Vox need to be louder.
Just breathe.
Backing needs to be quieter.
He's perfect, but man, I wish it could have been me.
For like, let me just show you without the backing vocals.
I bet he's.
A little bit of this going on.
I hope you find him. I hope he gives what you need. I hope he's perfect in everything that I couldn't be. I hope you're
Crazy. It is a banger. I'm very excited. It's a two-parter.
could just breathe.
Recorded at my parent-in-law's.
I wish it could have been me.
I threw my voice out hitting this last note right here. Yeah, threw my voice out doing that, but that was fun. So I will need to mix that. But now I want to switch to another. Wait, hear me out. Did that actually get the very exciting. Yeah, this song is a two-parter. For Lucas, I think I've taught you a bunch of stuff. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep streaming for a little bit. This is gonna be fun. Files. Rumors. Oh, that one's good though. But I could also go to Heart of Stone and write, Nick, you have not heard Rumors. You might have heard the piano riff years ago. I made it a while ago. But I think for the most part, you haven't heard it. So let me just. Ooh, that's a big one. Okay. So Lucas, your stuff is not over. Notepads. It's going to be Control, Shift, P, or you can always just click that. Something fun with it, there's a project. There's also a track one. So if I want something specifically that I want to take a note on for this sub drop, I can write a little note in there and visit it later. This is going to be O, where you can find a bunch of loops, samples and stuff. Then you can favorite them with that check mark and have a decent amount I favorited. And then F for files. D, yeah, here's about that. But this shows everything in the project that you have. It's very fun. Hit I to get rid of that. I'm going to hit return or enter so that my playhead goes all the way to the beginning. And this one is very fun. I pray, get the audio. Here we go. Yes.
Is that a reason enough for you to hold your breath? It's already done. Don't act like you can take it back. What are you crying over? Spilled feelings for you had no trouble ending it before it's over. And now you watch it back to see if behind you all the rumors you spread like wildfire consuming the work of your words. Ending it was my only way out.
Switch up goes crazy.
My words, but now the rumors found out. You better watch what you say.
That's so bad. That is so bad. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Mm. Mm. All right. So step one, the volumes. This grayed out area is where the cycle begins.
Room is found out. You better.
So loud. So see this arrow? Like a drop menu. Hi, Liz. Hi. Yeah. Our cat got its balls cut off.
He did.
No more balls. More balls for me. None for.
So
Okay.
you know.
Tell me how Borgor is. Tell me how Borgor is. Love you. Borgor, no. Look, I wanted all the balls. I wanted all the balls. So I got his balls. I chopped them up and I said, "Give me your balls. I need your balls." That's loud. Doesn't need to be that loud, does it? Remember when I got married on 6/7? Yes, that is very unfortunately true. Not that I got married, but I got married on 6/7. Now, back to the project at hand. Lucas, this is comping. So it only works with the cycle. Otherwise, it creates a new. Well, you can settings. Doesn't matter. Hit a cycle. Little yellow thing up here. Cycle, and then forward. Press R gives you counting.
You better watch what you say and watch what you do. These rumors have a way of catching up with you. When you look over your shoulder, don't act.
Which is trash and terrible and awful. However, fun little thing that I like, the gain tool. If I hit Command F, so I can crank it a little. For not really trying, it's not bad. However, it was here. So you can kind of pick and choose like a menu. Like all these different things. Like, oh, I want it to play this track. I think it was. I forget how I comped it. But it will automatically slice all of those, kind of put it together like a Frankenstein, but in a way that works fair. Depending on how good you are comping. Let's see what this. So it helps comping a lot if you a lot of take one session, not change gain or anything. A lot of the same thing, so that when you chop it up in Frankenstein it, you don't have to do any post work. They'll sound pretty much the same, but you can just pick out the best part, mix and match. Otherwise, like right now, I'm battling gain different. That's rough. We don't. I already want to. However, something fun that I did add. Vocal chops. I did a fun wet dry effect. Since I liked how stark. This is like ridiculous. This bus doesn't come in, and I was able to automate it. I'll I to get rid of that. Vector. So you click this. You go to main. You can go to volume. You can go to absolute and relative. I don't see a difference. Below, mute. You can control when those things happen. Then it'll automatically add any buses you have in there. How much reverb you have, all of it. There's also other ways to connect reverb into another track. Got your main track going. Got your reverb. You can just adjust it. Right now, connected it, plugged it in, automated some. Bus has, let's see what the bus has. Vector I. It's got some bass designer, so reverb, a couple of delays and echoes in there. I to go out. Then when I play it, it's all the way down at 0. Just got E. When the bass comes in, bus comes in. I like to show. With the bass, it just sounds like a whole. It like expands sonic. Which I so fun. The main riff is actually this synth was live. I have to adjust. It's this guy, this little guy. Love it. It was like 40, $30 or something. Actually, when I got it. But it was literally like oh, it wasn't even last money. I had already spent that. And my parents, I had enough gas for the. My parents, some gas money. And instead, I bought this little sim. Sorry, parents. Sorry. You gave it to me. Okay. Save command S doesn't ask you. Already saved. Fine. For watch. Enter pursued by a devil. Names intros. Hello. I hate how finicky it is. $10 is. That mean? I feel like an old. I just have to reset it every. Mac is annoying for that. This would be the opener of third album. Fun fact, my first.
The devil, his eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Need something. I haven't played with this time. There ain't anything. Well, maybe I. You know what? Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't, and that's okay. I think this stream, as good as it is gonna. So I'm gonna stop it here. Outro, why not? So, thanks for watching, anybody. Lucas, this was definitely long-winded. Sorry about that. Any other questions? Just ask me. I'll be here, ready. I love doing stuff like this. In the meantime, stream outro.
the devil, his eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Before I leave, actually, I got my picture taken, ID, and guy, right, sit down, take your hat off. We'll it took like 10 seconds. He just went, all right, let's go back. I was like, oh, dang, that's probably not a great picture. However, I don't know if you can see crap. Brother got me looking. I don't know if you can tell. I look like his cousin, maybe, but this is me. That's insane. Coolest picture I've ever had. I look like a model. I feel like trash, though. I'm tired and sick. Anyway.